All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a very important video about these exclusive tips that basically what I want to do in this video is simply to give you this information that took me so long to gather and organize. It's sort of a cheat sheet that will help you to prepare for your next exam or interview, or even like to get yourself to a new level without getting lost with all of these constant definitions. Okay, so to be honest, it's quite not so trivial at first, at least in a lot of tutorials, to learn these differences between using constants and how they can be used with pointers and so on, these definitions, because the usage of constants, the syntax in some constellations is very, and I mean very, difficult to understand. So I've done this video to make this life much easier for you and to understand everything from A, hopefully, to Y or Z. So let's get started. Okay, and the first thing that I want to talk about is the default usage of constants in C language. This refers to the default usage of constants, and basically it is the same, okay, if you've written just const age equals to 35, okay, so if you've written it this way, okay, so it simply assumes that you've written and created a variable of an integer type, unless, of course, otherwise was specified. So if you will see in some exercises or in some solutions, or basically in some examples, just const age without seeing the type itself, so you can assume that that's the default usage of constants in C, and behind the scenes it's just like it was written const int age equals to 35, and basically what was created here is just a variable of simply an integer type, which is constant and it cannot be changed over time. Awesome, so write down this note also for yourself, and let's proceed to the second option. The second option goes like this: const int star ptr. Okay, so what we do here is we create a pointer to a constant. Okay, so a pointer to a constant. Let me draw it maybe a little bit, one sec. Let's go like this, get the pen. What's going on? Oops, what's happening? Okay, so there is the pen. So we created a variable called ptr, and this variable is assumed to point to some value, to some other place in memory, right, since it's a pointer. And this value, okay, that we should point to could not be changed through this pointer. What do I mean by that? So we have a pointer to some constant that is of an integer type, and any attempt to change or to modify the content of the place we are pointing to will result in a compilation error. So make sure you understand that the pointer itself is not a constant, okay? This pointer is not a constant. What is a pointer? It holds the address of some other data in memory, okay? It may be like, I don't know, 4000, okay, the address. So the pointer itself, this value of ptr, it may change, okay? It may one time point to here and one time point to there, okay? There is no problem that this value will be changed to 3000, for example, but there is no basically problem with that. But the place or the constant integer we are pointing to cannot be changed. So something like that. Awesome. So now let us see an example that may also make things a little bit easier for us. So an example, here we go. Okay, so let's start. Int star ptr const ptr equals to the address of age. So simply here we created a constant pointer that points to a variable called age. Okay, and now we try to modify the value of age where we point to, and not the actual pointer, right? We do not change the value of PTR itself. We try to change the value of where we are pointing to. And if we go back, we can see that this declaration of int star const PTR, int star const PTR, is basically okay. It allows us to modify the value where we point to, okay, not the actual pointer. So there is no problem in that. But we said that if we will try to modify the PTR value itself, the value of the variable itself, the value of the pointer itself, that's basically will result in a compilation error. Okay, so I hope that's clear, and it basically concludes the first three options that we've just seen. And yeah, awesome. So let's proceed with the last one. I think basically it will be clear to you. Okay, so that's the last one, the fourth, where it is. So here it is. Here it is. We create a const int star const PTR. So basically we create a constant pointer pointing to constant integer. Okay, that's a combination of the previous both constants right here, and basically we have a pointer, constant pointer pointing to a constant integer. Nothing can be changed, neither the pointer nor where it points to. Okay, so basically if we created some PTR to point to num, then neither of them can be changed, nor this one, the PTR itself, neither the variable or the constant value we're pointing to. Okay, so basically these tips are really important because a lot of times people and my students, and also I know that other students too, they find really difficult to understand what is the difference between this one and why do I have problems when I'm using this one and what is that one. So now I think everything is clear to you guys, and you are basically ready to proceed. You are basically ready to move on. And yeah, so I think we've covered up the top used cases with constants and pointers. And make sure you write down these notes because that's super important. Run some examples on your own and make sure that everything said here you understand, as well as make some tests to make sure that everything I said is correct. Okay, so check it out. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you then.